Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms, and I am joined here as always with our preview show with superfan Devin Circus and Jake Circus of the Jake Circus podcast. And this is the week 4 preview of Jungle Talk. I know it's hard to be coming. I'm still numb from Monday. I think I said in the previous video, I felt like an accident victim that was just dealing with the trauma, and I needed to process what we had just been put through, and I still think I'm processing it. But before I forget, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. This show by fans for fans. Please just support the channel and hit the thumbs up on the YouTube because it helps us out with the analytics. And Jake, you do some amazing podcasts. Why don't you tell them where they can find you and your stuff?
Yeah, Twitter at Jake Circus, and then Jake Circus podcast on Spotify. Monday episodes, Wednesday episodes, and then tomorrow we've got a gambling episode. We brought the gambling pod back, so we're doing that tomorrow.
All right, excellent. So we'll jump in. We're going to do what we usually do: preview the show, good, the bad. We always do the bad first. Let's just talk about we lost Trent Brown for the year. I mean, some news that's Mims came in. Fortunately, he's ready to go, and he'll get better each and every week he plays. So thank goodness we drafted, a high quality lineman in the first round. But still, you didn't want to lose Brown. We need the depth. You need as many big horses. So that was not good news. And the other thing,
No, but
go ahead.
Mims will, like you said it perfectly. They drafted Mims for a reason.
Yeah.
Never knew what you're going to get out of Trent Brown, and Mims is ready and waiting.
Yeah, I think the plan was to have Mims starting by middle of the season. So this just kind of, I think, jump starts the plan, 3 or 4 weeks early. But still, you wanted Trent Brown to still be there, as another body. So losing him for the year was not good. And then I saw no
By the
practice.
way, sorry, one more on Trent Brown and Mims. We talked about it a lot in the offseason, how fun it was watching the two Browns and Mims walking together as big as these guys were. There were clips floating around on the internet after the game. Did you see that the lineman actually had to help Trent Brown onto the cart because he's so big and he hurt his knee. He couldn't get on the cart. Zach Taylor, somebody at the game posted a video. Zach Taylor actually sent Mims and then two other linemen to help get Trent Brown on the cart. It was actually kind of funny. And there was a cool moment right after Mims gets Brown on the cart. Burrow walks up and kind of hits him on the chest and be like, "All right, big guy, it's your time."
Yeah. So, well, those guys, that's a lot of humanity when you're looking at those offensive linemen. So when they're dead weight, it's like moving cattle. I mean, it's big. I noticed that we had no practice yesterday for Hill, Rankins, or Trey. Trey, I'm assuming, is just taking the day off kind of thing. But with Hill and Rankins, I mean, we hearing anything? We saw how much we need those guys in the middle.
Yeah,
I think
they had a mini walkthrough yesterday, and so there was no real practice. But the estimation was that neither of them went. So we'll see if they can get back out there today when it's more full. But I'm not holding out hope. I thought Jenkins looked good though, so there's that.
Yeah, no.
In the snaps he had, I thought he looked good. I don't know why Tufeli's out there. I mean, that guy's not good.
And here's another question. With all the issues that our secondary had, I'm not saying he would have been the difference maker, but we still didn't see Battle on the field. So I have no idea what's going on. Is he just in loose doghouse? I mean, why isn't he even in the rotation of players coming in the game?
Yeah, it does make sense. Battle or Turner.
So I'm just kind of
get these guys for 4 years. We're on year 2, and they're not even playing, and they're playing less than they did last year.
Well, and Battle ended the year extremely well. So there's no, like I said, it's not an injury thing. I just don't know. There's something we don't know, and maybe it's just the doghouse thing. I don't know, but it sure looks like we could have used. I would have taken any amount of help we could on defense. I mean, literally, we never forced a punt. Even special teams. Think about this, and I meant to mention this on our recap. we start the second half by giving up that huge kick return. Here it is, they're getting the ball, you want to shut down, the and get a 3 and out, and you give them the ball at your 30-yard line. Obviously ensuring a score. So everything went wrong. So we need to see better stuff, but I'm wondering why we're not seeing these guys on the field more.
We've had two big special teams gaffes that arguably cost us or led to costing us two of the three games: the Charlie Jones fumble and the Eckler kickoff return. I'm not saying those two directly caused losses, but those are two key plays that went the wrong way for us.
No, yeah, no. I just, and so this kind of leads us right into the preview. The This game looked a lot different 2 weeks ago. It really, we thought we were going to punch out Washington, punch this one out, be 2-2. Beginning of the season, when we were 3-1, these were 2 wins. We were all predicting a 3-1 start. So to be sitting here 0-3, and now you got Dalton. He looked really good. This team definitely got a jolt of adrenaline with the quarterback change last week. This is not a pushover game. They run the ball.
No, this is a real game. The big difference this week versus what Carolina did last week, I think by all accounts, the Raiders thought they'd walk into Carolina and sleep through a win, and obviously they didn't. They got it handed to them, and I think I would hope that we're in the exact opposite mindset where there's no overlooking anybody because there's no margin of error. To go 10-7 and make the playoffs, we need to go 10-4 the rest of the way, which, that's not easy.
No.
So you got to get up for every game. And hopefully there's been a lot of items addressed and mirrors looked into, and they come out and play football on Sunday.
Yeah. So, well, let's go through the things that we're not feeling good about. And obviously there's a lot. Obviously
the football team.
What's that? Yeah.
The team, the Bengals.
Yeah. Obviously we have plenty of stuff to not feel good about.
That's mine.
So I'm not, we're on a short week. Okay. Your confidence in the defense and the coaches has to be rocked big time with what you just saw. And we're desperate, and that can be good and that can be bad. It's bad when you're pressing because you're desperate. So there's a lot of things to feel, like I said, we're on the road. I'm hoping that we play the way we played in Kansas City. Somehow we got up for that game, because that was a completely different team than we saw Monday night. So, especially defensively, but there's a lot of stuff to worry about with this game coming up. 0-4, I'm not rolling up the tents and saying, let's talk draft, but we go 0-4 and lose to Carolina and Washington in back-to-back weeks. And we're going to start looking to next year. I don't even know has anybody ever made the postseason after starting 0-4?
No,
I doubt it.
But look, all the numbers out there with the 0-3 playoff, it's all garbage because the NFL added an extra playoff team 4 years ago.
You got an extra week to make up for it, right?
You have to throw all that shit out the window. Unless you retroactively go back and see how many of those 0-3 teams ended up finishing 7th, or but again, it's still flawed because you can be eliminated in week 13 10 years ago, and with the extra game, you're not eliminated until week 16 now. So it's all garbage. This season's not over.
No. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying
like,
I'm hitting the alarm bell if we don't bring it home this week.
If they lose to Carolina, then they would have lost to the teams that held or should have held the number 1, 2, and 3 overall picks in last year's draft. Obviously, Carolina they didn't own their pick, but if they did, they would have picked first.
Right.
So yeah, they're gonna beat Carolina. I'm not, the Bengals aren't getting blown out in these games. Like, they're 2-3 plays away in all 3 of those games from being 3-0. And I hate saying that because they've played bad. But like, it's not like the Bengals are getting embarrassed and blown out. Like, when you don't allow a single punt, then yeah, it's a little embarrassing. But the offense looks fine. I really no concerns. I would wish Burrow would maybe would maybe attempt some more deep shots that are there when going back and watching the film, but that's just nitpicking because he played great on Monday. He played great against the Chiefs. So the one thing with Carolina is their offensive line's really good. That's the best part of their team. That's where they've spent the most money in investing. last offseason, the offseason before. So they have a real offensive line, and Washington didn't, and we saw what their offensive line did to the pass rush when Trey Hendrickson had a bad game. And completely embarrassing. The
Right.
fact you have a 8-year veteran, 7-year veteran, and Sam Hubbard who can't do anything against rookie tackles and just inexperienced players all over. So that's the matchup that's concerning here. But if the offense scores enough points, they should have no issue.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything other negative they want to do? Go ahead, Devin. What'd you say?
I was just going to say, and I didn't hear what you asked, so after I say this, repeat. But Jake hit on something that I was going to say earlier. You can make a case that the Bengals are 3 plays away from being 3-0.
Oh, 100%.
Tanner Hudson doesn't fumble, you make the stop on 4th and 16.
Gesicki gets the catch. Yeah.
Yep. And well, they scored on the next play, so not Gesicki, but you're talking about the
week one. Gesicki makes the catch or Tanner Hudson doesn't fumble. One of those two things happens. Right. We win that game.
Right. You stop the Chiefs on 4th and 16 and pick one anywhere against Washington at any point, any 4th down stop, 3rd down stop, force them to punt. We're 3-0, and all of a sudden, instead of being one game away from talking about draft picks, we're looking at number 1 seed. So yeah, we were it was definitely Chicken Little. The sky was falling on Monday. I think I came on here and said that Burrow was not good or Burrow was bad. In retrospect, I was a little overzealous in that. Yeah, he missed a couple of guys, but to Jake's point, we didn't punt either on Monday. And yeah, a couple of those field goals could have been touchdowns, but the offense looks really, really good. The offense played really well against an excellent Chiefs team. The offense didn't punt on Monday night. And yeah, there's concerns on this game. They got Andy Dalton, would love to stick it up us.
Yeah.
Jake mentioned their line is very good. Chuba Hubbard had a great game last week, and got to come out and play, but we should be able to put up a good amount of points on this team.
Yeah, I think I corrected you while you're recording the show on Monday. I said that it wasn't Burrow. I mean, I said acknowledge that he's behind a couple of receivers, but yeah, looking back, I like to record those because you're in the moment, you get the emotion of everything we're going through. But like I said, you need time to process, and looking back, no, unless Burrow is going to play DB, you can't, and he wasn't out there for that. You can't fault him. We didn't lose the game because of offense. So
yep.
I think Burrow was bad on the show.
I was emotional. I said it during the game.
So. But like I said, he threw behind. He threw Chase low on one we had to settle for a field goal.
The one that killed me was overthrown T in the back of the end zone, which led to a field goal.
That was a bad. Yeah, he was late. It wasn't a bad throw. He was just late.
It was just so. Yeah. But like I said, you put up 33, you should win the game at home,
and you will 99 times out of 100.
Yeah. So. And you transitioned us. So are we done with the negative? Now we could talk about.
I got one more thing. It's a little off topic, but kind of on topic. Neither team punted. And what was the final score? 38-33?
Mm-hmm.
You think about it. Both teams on offense absolutely dominated, and the score was in the 30s. How the hell did the Dolphins score 70 points in a game last week? How do you do that? Neither team punted and didn't break 40, and the Dolphins put up 70 last week. I know the long drive, turnovers, but it just goes. That's remarkable. Well, moving on.
Dolphins are in a great spot now. All we heard after that game was how they're the greatest team ever, and they're going to win 9 Super Bowls in a row with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They're not looking so great. Exactly 1 year after that. That was week 4 last year. So
yeah. Well, Dolphin season looks a lot different now. So, but that's a story for another show. So we started talking about the good already. And I said the good and bad, the desperate is good and bad. It is good that we're desperate because they're not overlooking this game at all. And the offense has found itself. I mean, there's no question. I mean, that's my number one thing on my list is that the offense has found itself. So and their biggest playmaker is out, Thielen. In terms of that was Dalton's, he's their most consistent veteran wide receiver there.
I'll take Dante Johnson.
What's that?
I'll take Johnson over Thielen.
Yeah. But like I said, it's still you have leadership. There's things Thielen brings in. And then their defense has issues as well. We're not gonna. This could be another game where I mean, it's a little early on the gambling portion of our show, but I love the over this week. I mean, I go based on what we saw out of our defense. I know we're going to score, so I really like the over in this game. So if you don't think the Bengals are going to cover and they're going to win a close one, take the over. So
I just read their starting safety. I think his name is Jordan Fuller. Jake, correct me if I'm wrong. He's out. Their starting safety, their top safety. You know who it is, Mark? I know Jake does.
No.
I have not seen their report, but yeah, Fuller is their safety.
Fuller apparently is out. Nick Scott will be their top safety.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. They should be able to have some fun with him. We all know what a bust signing he was last year. So, but yeah, like I said, I like the over. There's a lot. I think we're going to put up points this week. Can Lou put together a game plan where we stop? And why? We also discovered our running game last week. Okay.
Yeah.
Why weren't we running more so we could have more time-consuming drives? Just in terms of our scheme.
That wasn't the issue. The issue wasn't them scoring too fast. It was they couldn't get any. I mean, like the run game is fine, but the Bengals are never going to be a run down your throat team. Like they want to run the ball to set up the exact play action shot that scored Jamar the first touchdown. That just makes them a more balanced offense when you have the play action available. And in week 3, it looked like it was available. Weeks 1 and 2. The Bengals were the defenses that they were playing were not respecting the play action at all. So we'll see what Carolina does.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else anybody wants to bring up in terms of the good, the bad, and the ugly?
It's good to see Jamar Chase back.
Yeah. I can't help but feel like we wasted a great offensive effort. You look back at that game.
Of course we did.
You're just kind of like you said, we're a few plays away from being 2-1, 3-0. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, we want to jump into predictions here.
This weekend's matchup between the Panthers and the Bengals is the matchup of the only 2 quarterbacks to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game this year.
Okay. Well, you got Dalton join that.
Nobody else has done it.
Yeah.
Nobody else has done it this year. Those are the only 2.
Right. The whole Dalton, and once it's also the whole Dalton rematch thing, I think it's overdone. I know he would love to stick it to us, but this is multiple times we've played him. Saints, Bears. Yeah. So I don't know. I think
beaten us twice. You know what? There was nothing ill about that. The only thing the Bengals did wrong was that they benched him on his birthday. That was the only thing they did wrong.
Yeah.
But look, it was always going to be Joe Burrow. I don't think Dalton has any ill will towards him. I think he had a great relationship with the city, the team, the fans. He's been highly regarded and revered since he left. This is not. I'm trying to think of a revenge game. This is not Stephon Diggs going back to Minnesota or anything like that. And like you said, this is the 4th time they've played, and frankly, Dalton is lucky and surprised to be playing football right now, I'm sure, if you'd ask him.
Yeah, no, it's there's not. I'm going to point everybody to Ken Anderson's Twitter. He tweeted something out the other day where he talked about Joe coming to the locker room and having a beer with him after hitting him really hard in a game, me, Joe Green. And I want to point out, a lot of people think like these players have a lot of animosity towards one another, and they don't. We do as fans.
It's all
me, Joe Green, having a beer with Ken Anderson because it tells you that we manufacture that. The press manufactures that. It's not, the players don't have that. So, and you can just check Ken Anderson's Twitter feed. So
the whole rivalry thing, Dodgers, Giants, Yankees, Red Sox, Steelers, Bengals, that's fan and media driven. Players don't give a shit because they move around. They grow up together. Especially in like baseball where they're in the minor leagues together. That's purely fan driven.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, all right, you want to do predictions? You want to go right into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Who wants to go first? I can go first. I haven't gone in a while. So, all right, I've got us, like I said, I like the over in this game. I got us at 31-27. That's what I got us. I do think we win this game. I do think it's close. I don't feel good enough about the Bengals to take them covering, but certainly would tease them. And obviously, I love the over, so that's where I'm going. And I saved my bacon with the second half over on Monday night. So that was I bet the over 13.5 Bengals team total, and I bet the over. So that's where I kind of covered everything else that was going south in that game. So that's what I like. I like 31-27 Bengals.
It's a lot of points. I've got I think the Bengals, I think it's somewhat of a shootout. There's some stops, some turnovers. I'm not expecting, 50, 60 points. But I got 27-21 Bengals. It's a close game the whole way. Bengals win 27-21.
Okay.
Yeah, I got pretty much the same thing, 27-20. Played a little bit, Bengals -3.5, line dipped. Now it's back up. So I think the line should be 5.5. So we'll see what it closes at. But yeah, I think the Bengals take control of this game. They're the much better team here.
Yeah.
They'll find a way.
No question. And if the line dips again and it gets to 3.5, I will take the 2.5 because I really feel like the Bengals win this game by 3 or 4. I under a field goal, I'm all on that. So if I can buy it down under, by the point down, then I'll do the Bengals -2.5. So I'm gonna have to watch for that. I didn't know that it dipped. I looked again today, and it was still at 4.5. But yeah, we clearly have the better roster. So I've already told you I like the over. Jake, why don't you give us another Virginia? You gave us Virginia last week, which was a great pick. Give us another Virginia this week.
I'm pretty sure I gave out East Carolina too, and I had to. I was up till 2 Eastern time sweating that bet because I got delayed 6 hours. They were up 17.
You did give out East Carolina
because couldn't cover +7.5. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dad was watching.
I said, give us another Virginia.
Yes, Virginia was never a spot. They blew them out. Should have been a 2-0 week.
They were up, weren't they up big at half too?
They were up 17-0.
Yeah, at half. Yeah, that was a delay. That was a rain delay, or what was there was a delay in that game.
Yeah, there was a 6-hour delay. That game didn't end until 2 a.m. Eastern time on a game that started at 4 Eastern time.
See, that's proof that I bet your picks and I do follow those games. So, but and I teased that, by the way. I think I had 13.5 and I won the tease on that card. The Bengals killed that card, not East Carolina. So all right, what do you got? What do you like?
Let's roll. I'll give out 3. One tomorrow, Rutgers -2.5.
Okay.
You can get it at 2 somewhere. NC State -6 against Northern Illinois, and then App State, grossest one on the board by far, +3.5.
Okay.
By 20 as a 2-touchdown dog last week.
There you go. All right, love it. So, Jake, why don't you remind everybody where they can find your stuff?
Jake Circus Pod on Spotify. Follow me on Twitter at Jake Circus. All my picks are on there. College football gambling show out tomorrow. And yeah, let's ride.
Yeah. All right, you were a little choppy there, Devin. And obviously, Superfan Devin, I want to thank everybody for being here. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. Support the channel. Hit the thumbs up so you to help us out with the YouTube analytics, and hit the bell. You'll know when we put up the videos. We'll be back right after the Carolina game, hopefully blowing the victory horn. I have to actually find it because I don't even, we haven't blown it in 3 weeks. So it's time to blow the victory horn and go 1-3, and then get ready for Dirty Bird week. So with that, I'm going to say, hoo day, everybody. Have a good day.
Who dat?